I want you both out by the end of the day.
No problem. Here's my resignation.
And yours. Actually, it is a problem.
Whoa.
This is not right. I really don't care what you think, Sergeant. I want your resignation. I want you off the premises. Thank you. Now get out.
Do it again.
David directed episode 3. He had expressed interest in directing for many years, but we had resisted first-time directors in our show because the show is a challenge. It's difficult. But as the years went by, we decided that it would be great, and if we're going to do it, better do it now.
David had been really wanting to do this for quite some time, and he'd never directed anything before, and he was reading every book he could, and when he had a day off, was staying on set and shadowing the directors and trying to learn.
When I was directing, I felt like every part of my brain was being used full throttle. I couldn't have been happier.
I know!
His energy level was absolutely electrifying.
He was very excited. He really, really was into saying action. I mean, he really was like, action!
Because pre-production is about 2 weeks, David had to shoot his episode first.
It was a bit of a production problem because we couldn't have him direct the first episode because he would have had to edit while he was acting. So we gave him the third episode to direct. So we shot episode 3 first, then episode 1, then episode 2.
It was a little bit strange because it was the first time in the course of 123 episodes that we've had to shoot episodes out of order.
We had to figure out how do we write him out of episode 3 so he could actually be on the set and not have to direct himself most of the time.
Just don't panic, okay? Whatever you do, we're gonna figure this out.
What was so brilliant is what the guys came up with to get him out of the episode.
We do it. Same way Eve got all the information from Rachel.
Well, Eve slept with Rachel.
I was Renard at the time.
Yeah, but who are you gonna be this time? Rachel's dead and we can't have 2 Renards out there.
Why not? Have you seen Sasha Roiz? Who wouldn't want to transform into that Adonis? I was gonna update my IMDb height to 6'5", but wasn't allowed to.
Weird being this tall.
We would have done it anyway because it was such a great way to end Renard being mayor. Plus, it was so much fun.
What the hell do you think you're doing? The people of the city elected me as mayor.
What I was most impressed with, really, was his shot selection. We did something right where I'm sitting.
Are you ready?
And he's turning into Renard. And he had a really funny shot where he's taking a hit of the hat. And it's like he just falls backwards.
That was a wacky day when we were doing the morphs because I have Sasha and David in their underwear. But David's also behind the camera in his underwear. Oh my God.
You cannot go out like that.
This was a particularly difficult one because I had to find these nuances in David's performance, the way he plays, the way he talks, the way he delivers things, that would just give a little sort of wink to the audience that this is actually Nick.
He had some of my tics that Nick Burkhart does, hands on the hips, scowl.
What about it?
Basically, the episode rides on the shoulders of Sasha, and Sasha is fabulous.
That's it.
There you go.
It was very demanding of me because I was in just about every single scene, to the point where I even had to fight myself.
I really think there's only room for one of me in this city.
We shot on this beautiful roof that overlooks Portland.
It was in the middle of the summer, really north, so we had a very short night. So we had to get it all. We had it all storyboarded out.
David had really done his homework, and he had all the storyboards, all the cards of the storyboards were laid out on this huge thing that anybody could come look at.
The big fight scene, we brought out green screens, I think for the first time on our show. And we were doing some technically new things like split screens. So it was a very technically complex night.
We had, I think, 6 or 7 stunt doubles for me. There were so many guys dressed like Renard and looked like Renard. It was actually quite funny.
That was a big night, and David pulled it off.
I really think we can go back to the way it was.
He totally rose to the challenge, and I think everybody liked working with him, and I think it's sometimes odd with the power dynamic changing between actor and director, and I think he handled it flawlessly.
You don't want to go in there, because you're already in there. Might be a little awkward.
I love that he was like, all right, that shot was sexy, let's move on. It was all about sexy shots for David Giuntoli, and it was great. He was fantastic.
Stepping into the director's chair, you really get to fully, or more fully, respect every department, what they do. I mean, they're the best at what they do. I have no idea, technically, how things are done, but I would say what I wanted, and I would watch like the best men and women in the business just kind of make it happen for me.
Of any episode, it was incredibly collaborative because everybody wanted him to succeed. And I think he just did a great job.
I was just like really humbled, and at one point, they all came out and sang for me, and like I deserved a song.
This is David Giuntoli directing his first episode, yo!
I mean, obviously, like, everybody, I get some compliments on this, but I had very little to do with it. It's really everybody being so wonderful at what they do, and, like, I gotta, like, say something, and the best professionals, men and women in the world, do it better than I could ever imagine how it's done. So, like, thank everybody. I'm gonna get the literal credit for this, but it should be directed by the cast and crew of Grimm, and in 3-point font with David Giuntoli. So, thank you so much. I love all of you.